Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper and today I want to talk to you about The Children of the Whales by Abi Umeda. This is an absolutely phenomenal series, so let's take a look at volume 1 and find out whether it is worth your time. So before we begin, just want to say guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell. It's the best way to get notified as the videos come out, and it's a great way to support the channel. And thank you very much for everyone who has subscribed so far. As of the time of recording, I'm up to about 50 subscribers. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for all of the support. Children of the Whales tells the story of the inhabitants of the Mud Whale. This is a giant island that floats and drifts by on an endless sea of sand in a huge expanse of desert, but this island seems to float up. On the island you have two different groups of individuals. You have the marked and the unmarked. The marked only have a certain a short lifespan. They can only live to about 30, but in exchange they get to use this magical ability, this magic called themia or thymia, not quite sure on the pronunciation. And they can use this magic for all sorts of different things. They use it for keeping their boats afloat when they go out onto the sand sea, or for cutting down bamboo to help out in farming, just a number of different things. And on the other side you have the unmarked, who they have a longer lifespan, and while they don't have this magical ability, it is their duty to watch over the marked, and eventually once they reach a certain age they become an elder, and it is their job to carry on the history of the mud whale as time goes on. They outlive all of the marked, and it is their job to carry on the traditions of the mud whale. Now, the story centers around Chikara. He is one of the marked, and he is the mud whale's archivist. This is a kind of sort of post-apocalyptic tale, and Chikara is the archivist. Hi, Link. Hello. Say hello. Link wants to say hello. He has a condition called hypergraphia, and it means that he is compelled to write down everything he can. And the elders decided that this was a great kind of thing to have for someone who's an archivist, because they want to write everything down. One of them even remarks that before Chikara took over, everything was just kind of matter-of-factly, this happened. But when Chikara took over, all of his archives, reports and records kind of start to sound like a diary, and that's just because he writes down everything. Now, Chikara can use thymia, but he's not the best. He's not very good at using it. This is why he's it's unusual for a marked to be given a role like this, like the archivist, but he's been given it because he can't really control and use his thymia like everyone else can. So that's his job. The first few chapters of the volume kind of just introduce us to the world and to the characters, and a little bit later on in the volume another island drifts by the mud whale, and Chikara is chosen to be part of the reconnaissance team because obviously being the archivist he can write down anything that happens. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything after this point in the volume because you have to read it for yourself, but what they find on that island kind of is the starting piece, and it sets all the pieces in motion and has this huge ripple effect, and affects everyone on the mud whale and sets up future volumes and the story going forward. I absolutely adored this volume 1 of Children of the Whales. It was actually recommended to me by someone on the channel, and they commented, so that was K and K Love 1. Thank you very much for recommending it. I basically ordered it as soon as I read your comment and checked out the artwork because it is absolutely gorgeous. Really enjoyed this first volume. It's a slower, kind of more human story, but the setting is very fantastical. I loved the setting. It kind of feels post-apocalyptic. The mud whale is this huge giant. It reminds me a little bit of Howl's Moving Castle in a way. But it's built up from kind of mud and clay. All the houses and buildings are kind of mishmashed and cobbled together. But it seems like they have kind of some remnants of bygone eras. There's some pocket watches and artifacts and weapons that are kind of they find later on that indicate maybe that there was some other civilization before this one before this island seemingly floated on alone on the sand sea. Like I say, the art was absolutely beautiful. This is the initial cover for volume 1, and the artwork on the cover kind of reminds me a little bit of Tokyo Ghoul, that kind of sketched pastel sort of artwork. But inside, I'll show you a couple of a page there. I mean, that is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. Abi Umeda, who writes and does the art, has done an absolutely fantastic, amazing job on this volume as a whole, on this story. I would really recommend you check it out if you want something unique. It's published under Viz's signature label, which is always kind of targeted, you know, it's always said that they target adults or people who want a more discerning story, and this definitely is something that is a very unique tale, something that you definitely should experience if you want something that isn't your typical kind of fighting manga or battle shonen. It seems like there's a little bit romance in it as well. It has the airs of kind of like a shoujo, but obviously not enough to kind of warrant being put under the shoujo beat label. I absolutely adored this initial volume, guys. If you want to check it out, I would very much recommend that you do so. Just a quick kind of note before we end the review. This was published by Viz under their signature range, obviously, but the translation was done by JN Productions, the touch-up art and lettering by Annalise Chrisman, designed by Julian Robinson, and the editor on this was Pancha Diaz. Without those guys, it wouldn't come over to the West. Thank you very much for bringing it to this audience and to making it so that I could buy it and read it and experience this truly unique story. That's pretty much it for the video. Just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on what this is and whether I think it's worth your time, which it absolutely is. It's a unique tale, very character driven, and I would definitely recommend that you give it a go. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It's the best way to support the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.